Hey, and welcome. Today we're talking about how you can make the money that you know that you're capable of with a lot less effort. So I'm super excited to have you join me today. Because this is really for you if you're at the stage of your business where, yes, you're making money, but you're starting to think about saving for retirement. You're starting to think about, being able to take real vacations where you can actually unplug, where your mind is not always on your business. When you are starting to think about how can I create more quality time, more free time, for your partner. Maybe you're wanting to start a family. Maybe you just want to pursue other passions outside of your business, right? So if that's you, if you're in that place in your life, in your business right now, then what I'm going to share with you today can be really impactful if you take it and you apply it, obviously. So I'm going to be with you about 20 minutes today. I'm going to share 3 things with you that took me from averaging $25,000 months to averaging over $100,000 months in a very short period of time. I actually made the transition within a 2-week period. Now, I'm going to preface that by saying I've been in business for a while, right? So I didn't just start and then all of a sudden start making, over $100,000 a month in 2 weeks. But I did make that shift in that short period of time because I was in business, right? And I already had some momentum. But I'm going to share with you what I did because it's important that you get this because I don't do what most people do. I will never teach you, I will never preach about implementing 101 different strategies because I tried that. That didn't work for me. So what you're going to learn from me today has absolutely nothing to do with actually working harder or doing more, let's put it that way. Right? It's going to be about a couple of key things that you can do. The things that I really think you should focus on, the things that I help my mastermind clients focus on as well, so that they actually get bigger results much faster with a lot less time and effort. Okay? So my name is Desiree Stafford. If you've never been on one of my trainings before, welcome. I'm someone, if you couldn't tell already, who works with coaches. I also work with service-based entrepreneurs, and I help them make the money that they know that they're capable of with a lot less effort. Right? Without working themselves into exhaustion, because typically my clients are high achievers. They're used to working their tails to the bone, and they are successful, yet they get to a point where they're like, I want to achieve another level of success, but I'm afraid I'm going to burn out before I get there. So if that's you, then you are, again, in the right spot because you'll learn a lot from me today. Okay? So thanks for the love, by the way. Hey, Leslie. Hey, Jordan. Hey, Jean. Hey, Hind. Hey, Suzanne. Hey, Denise. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Emily. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get straight into the teaching points today. Share this video with anyone that you think will benefit, and then I will take your questions in the end, okay? So the first thing that I did to make this transition is, number 1, I got super clear about the type of offers that lit me up and the ones that didn't, okay? This is hugely important if you want to actually enjoy the work that you're doing. What most people don't understand is when you're selling programs that you're kind of feeling blah about or maybe meh about because you've grown, you've shifted, but yet you're still selling programs that maybe don't fully honor your gifts, skills, and talents, right? Then it's difficult to make sales. It just is, right? And it's also difficult to attract high-end clients because the energy isn't there. The energy that you need to be a magnet, to be attractive to those folks, it just isn't there, right? So I had to get really clear about what I was offering, and I'll be quite honest with you, most of the time my programs don't change. I might shift the structure a little bit. I might take some things out or add some things that are more me, right? So that I'm lit up, I'm totally on fire about what it is that I'm offering. And that was the first thing that I do. And one of the things that I also do is I don't sell a lot of different things. I have 3 core offers. So if you're coming to me, there's like 3 core offers that you can choose from, right? And the reason that I do this is because everything that I offer, it's very strategic, right? It's strategic from a business standpoint, but it's also strategic in terms of knowing that what I'm offering fully honors my gifts. Like, I'm not here to do work that's outside of my zone of genius, right? So I limit the number of offers because I know what I'm really fucking good at, right? I know what I'm the best in the world at for my ideal clients. And I would recommend the same for you. It creates a very streamlined business that allows you to make a lot of money if you do this the right way. But it also creates the opportunity for your clients to reinvest with you as well, right? And also for people to come to you at different levels, right? So it's important that you figure out how to do that for yourself. You may want to have more offers or you may want to have less offers. It's really up to you. And when I work with a client, I help them figure out what works for them in terms of a business model. But it's important that whatever you're selling lights you the fuck up, right? You want to be passionate about it, and you want people to feel that passion coming from you, okay? Because that's going to translate through your marketing. It's going to translate in your sales conversations. It's going to translate through how you're coaching people in your sessions, correct? Okay. So along with making sure that you're selling offers that light you up, guess what? You need to make sure that you're serving people who also light you up. The kind of clients who are inspired by you and who also inspire you. That was a saying that I learned from one of my mentors, and I stuck with it because it has made such a difference in how I show up in my business, right? Like when you're working with the right clients, people who understand how you explain things, and they do the fucking work and they get the results, right? You get to witness their brilliance, right? And also your own brilliance through them implementing what you share and then getting the results. That's you fulfilling your fucking purpose. What could be more exciting than that, right? So it's important that you are not only selling what you love, but selling what you love to the right people, the people that you were born to serve. Make sense? So that was the first thing that I focused on, right? I haven't talked to you about more strategy yet, right? That was the first thing that I focused on. The second thing that I focused on was raising my fees, right? Because if you guys have been following me for a long time, I sell high-end stuff. That's all I sell. I mean, I don't have any like cheapo things. It's just not me. And it's because my business model, well, it's a couple things. Number one, because of my business model, but my business model is based on my own personal style, right? My business model is unique to me, and typically my clients will have a similar business model because my clients are similar to me in terms of their personality and in terms of the lifestyle that they want to live, right? So for me and the business model that I have, it's all high-end stuff. It's what I like to do. It's what I'm called to do for myself and also for my people, right? So I raised my fees, right? And to me, that's one of the fastest ways that you can reach your personal and financial goals without feeling like you don't have any energy left for yourself, right? And without sacrificing your client's results. Because one of the things, I just shared this with a client yesterday, one of the things that sometimes people will forget when they're in the process of raising their fees and starting to get all freaked out because they think people don't have the money or whatever the case may be, is that your fee is part of your client's accountability, right? And I work with top performers, right? And so if I were to charge less than what I charge, a lot of them would be like, not impressed, right? And not as engaged. I wouldn't have the same level of their attention that I command now with my fee. And so what do you think that does? It helps them perform at a much higher level, right? That's what my people want, and that's what I give, right? So I had to work on my own fears, doubts, beliefs, or whatever was coming up for me in reference to, am I worth it? Can I receive on a higher level, right? But that was the second thing that I did. I raised my fees, okay? Excuse me. Another reason why I think it's a powerful strategy is because, you know, I am not the kind of person who desires to have hundreds of clients at a time. It's just not me, right? I've been in programs where there were hundreds of people, and I didn't show up the way that I knew I needed to show up, which was totally my responsibility, right? But I also recognized that I perform better in a more intimate environment. And my clients also perform better in a more intimate environment because many of them have also been in larger programs themselves. So I've designed my programs so that they're more intimate. And so when I have higher fees, another benefit to me is that I don't need hundreds of clients. I get to work with leaders, right? And then those leaders then go out and work with their clients, and then it creates a ripple effect that way. So I still get to have an amazing impact, but I don't have to literally touch, or I should say directly touch, hundreds of people at a time, right? I get to work with a handful of really gifted, skilled, and talented leaders, and then they go out, and then they do their work in the world, and then that has the ripple effect that I'm looking for, right? So I know that the impact that I have to offer to people, even though I'm not serving people directly at a huge quantity, right, is still a massive impact that I'm making in the world, right? Because I'm serving my clients in the way that they need to be served, so they experience the transformation that they need to go out and fulfill their big calling, right? So another reason why, you know, the business model that I have works for me, the higher fees and all that kind of stuff, is because when I'm working with fewer clients, a lot less marketing, and also I don't have to have a big team to manage either, right? And I have a background in HR, and guess what? I don't enjoy managing tons of people. Okay, so it's not something that I ever wanted in my business, and I don't have that in my business. So these are all the things that you want to consider when you're thinking about, you know, what you're offering, who you're offering it to, how much you're charging, all that kind of stuff, which also, by the way, allows me to have a very high profit and low stress business as well, right? So those are some of the things I was thinking about as I was going through my up-level process when I made the tweaks that I made to go from $25,000 months to $100,000 months, okay? The last thing I did was I got support, right? I'm a coach. What do you think I'm going to say? Right? Are you going to think I'm going to tell you that I have this whole thing figured out, even though I've been in business for over 10 years, right? I've had a seven-figure business, multiple seven-figure business. I've had a six-figure business before. I have a multiple six-figure business now, right? And I still know the value of having a coach, the value of having a mentor, the value of having someone, you know, to give me feedback, to see what I can't see, to make the tiny tweaks that I need to make in order to get to the next level result, right? To challenge me when I'm feeling frustrated, right? When I'm allowing my own emotions to get the best of me, right? It's important that we have that level of support no matter what level you're at in your business, right? Because we all have blocks. The same thing that, you know, caused you to maybe struggle a little bit on your way to six figures is the same thing that's going to cause you to struggle a little bit as you get to seven figures, right? Or as you're on your way to seven figures. It just is what it is, right? So I knew that about myself. I was like, okay, I've been flying solo for a couple of months because it took me a while to find the right support because, you know, once you're at a certain level, a lot of the times the stuff that you're seeing in the marketplace is just not for you. You're like, yeah, you're more sophisticated than that, right? And that's where I was. I was feeling so much more beyond what I saw a lot of people talking about in the marketplace. And so it took me a while to find the right support. But I decided that I was going to get help. I got help. And within 2 weeks, everything changed, right? By me doing the same three things that I just shared with you. The getting clear about the offers that lit me up and the people that I wanted to serve that lit me up. Raising my fees, and also hiring support, right? That was it. And in 2 weeks, I went from $25,000 months to over $100,000. And I've been doing that ever since, right? Now, let's talk a little tiny bit about strategy today. Like, what did I have in place? Because you're probably wondering, like, well, what did you have in place to allow that to happen? So I told you I already had some momentum. I've been in business for a little bit, right? The same ads and the same webinar that I had running for a while that had stopped literally converting for me. When I did those three things I shared with you, just like that, all of a sudden, without me making any changes, started to convert. Why do you think that was? Because throughout this process of getting clear about making sure that I'm only selling what lights me up, what I know that I'm here to do in the world, right? Selling it to the people that I'm born to serve, charging what I feel, you know, my transformation is worth, working with a mentor, having someone support me. And that's a huge key there, right? Because if you want to receive on a high level, you have to be able to allow yourself to be supported, right? So that was a huge shift for me to get back into that space of allowing someone to say, Desiree, tweak this, right? Or you're doing really good, but you could make this little change or whatever the case may be. Those kinds of shifts actually changed who I was being, right? I didn't know it at the time, but it actually changed who I was being because a couple of things happened. The direction of my focus changed. The thoughts that I was thinking changed. How I was feeling about myself and about my offers and about what I could deliver changed, right? And so the actions changed in correspondence to that. And then what happened? Energetically, I was able to call in clients, right? So it wasn't that the ads were bad. It wasn't that the webinar couldn't convert. It was that they had stopped because I had blocks that I was unaware of, right? And when I shifted through those blocks because I took these specific actions, that's when things shifted. This is one of the reasons why a client can come to me after being in business for years, right? And then noticing that they hit like a plateau. And then within a couple of weeks of us working together, they make more in a month than they made in the previous year. This is why this happens, right? It's not magic. It's that we're doing the specific things that they need to do in order to get better results, but we're not, I don't believe in working people to the bone. I just don't believe in that model, especially for the business that we're in. Because when you understand this business and you understand how things actually work and how our thoughts become things and how our feelings are the magnifiers, right? When you totally get that, you get why you've been working yourself into exhaustion, but not seeing anything really increase other than your level of stress or frustration, right? And that's one of the reasons why people hire me, is because they're at that point where like, I don't fucking get this. Why am I working so hard, but I'm not getting the result that I know that I'm capable of, right? It's because there's stuff going on internally that's causing resistance or creating a sense of resistance, correct? Okay. So those are some of the things I did. And one more thing I will say to you about getting support is, I'll give you a perfect example. I've spent a ton of money in Facebook ads. I've run very successful campaigns for myself. And then I've had some campaigns that were awesome, and then some campaigns that just weren't really working. And I didn't understand why. I'm like, I don't understand why this is not working. And I recently hired someone to take over that aspect of my business. And I was like, one of the challenges I've been having is I'm really good at marketing to my ideal clients, like really good. I can nail them, right? Which is, you know, something that I've learned, and I teach my clients how to do. And the person who's doing the ads for me, she reached out to me today. She's like, I think I know why your ad's not getting approved. She's like, you're so good at reaching out to your people, like lasering in on your people. And Facebook doesn't like that, because there are different policies for running ads than if I'm just, you know, doing organic marketing, which is typically what I do and what I train my clients how to do. So we had to soften it. We had to massage it. We couldn't make it as personal as I like to make my marketing, which is why it's so fucking effective, right? However, that was a perfect example of why getting support, someone who's an expert in a certain area, is so invaluable, right? Because the copy itself was actually good. It just needed to be massaged a little bit. Couple of little tweaks. So again, this is not about throwing the baby out with the bathwater, right? It's about having somebody come in who's an expert, who is efficient at spotting where are the tweaks, where are the shifts that need to be made so that you get the results that you're after, right? Same thing I do with my clients. I'm sure it's the same thing you do with your clients. But that's why this kind of stuff is so important. It's important that you, at the level that you're at, that you're working with someone who can help you make the adjustments, because typically they're only tiny adjustments to help you get to your next level, okay? So, who has questions? Who has questions? Let me go back and say hello, hello, hello. Hey, Danielle, how are you? Hey, Karen, how are you? Hey, Grace. Hey, Ruby. Hey, Denise. Yes, support is essential. Is it Lenja? I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. But if I'm not wrong, correct me. So, okay. You said you're a great teacher because you're a great student, of course. Danielle says, receiving support, coaching, mentoring is so key. Absolutely. If you want to receive, you got to be open to support. Absolutely. Okay. So I think it's Lajenka asks, are you running Facebook ads at this moment? What is my call to action? So yeah, I just hired someone last week. So she is in the process of rerunning or creating some new campaigns for me. I do have a really tiny campaign that's running right now. And the call to action is my webinar. So if anyone is interested in the webinar, go to DesireeStafford.com/masterclass, and you can find out how I do things. All right. Yes, simplicity is important, Denise. Oh, Lenya, thank you so much. All right. So does anyone else have any questions, comments, anything before we wrap up today? We have a few more minutes before we conclude. It's important, guys, that you get this, that you don't think that you have to do, you know, I'm trying to think of the way that I want to say this. There are a lot of gurus out there. There are a lot of people who are selling you all of these fancy bells and whistles that lead to you buying some other shiny object, right? That's not getting you, number one, the results that you need for yourself, right? So that you can stay in business. And it's also not allowing you to become who you need to be to serve your clients the way that you need to serve them so that they get the transformation that they're desperately seeking, right? So one of the reasons why it's so important for me to get this kind of information out to you the way that I can is so that you can stop focusing on the shit that's not moving the needle, right? And truly focus on the stuff that gets the goddamn job done for you and for your people, right? Because if you're anything like me and the powerhouse clients that I serve, you have a massive calling, right? There's something that you know that you're here to do. So let's just get you doing that instead of focusing on all of the other crap that you don't need to focus on that's not actually getting you closer to your goal, right? Typically what happens is people will burn out before they actually get close to your goal. Listen, I know people who have multiple six-figure businesses. I know people who have multiple seven-figure businesses, and they're not making nearly the amount of cash that I'm making because they have so much overhead. They have to have a huge team to support them, like all kinds of drama, right? And so if you're not able to really take care of yourself in the way that you need to take care of yourself, how do you think you're going to show up for your clients, right? I've had people reach out to me who've, you know, been on television. I've done that too, and it really didn't do anything, right? But I've had people who've been on television. They've won awards. They have thousands of people following them. I mean, like tens of thousands of people following them, and they're not making really any good money, right? And they're stressed about how they're going to pay their bills. And they're stressed because, you know, the relationships that they're in are not really as connected as they want them to be. The intimacy isn't there because they're always focused on their business, right? That's a real problem. And think about if you have kids, what are you modeling to your kids if you're in that situation, right? So it's important that you learn how to streamline things, that you learn how to get the results that you know that you're capable of, so that, you know, you can fulfill your purpose and you can actually serve the people that you're here to serve powerfully, right? Because I'm sure your people are getting amazing results, but couldn't their results be that much better, right? If you were able to really give them the time and the attention that you could, if you weren't so worried about, you know, chasing down the next client or having to do all of this marketing or all the other crap that a lot of people are telling you, right? All right, so let's see. Hey, Kent, how are you? Hey, Danielle said cash flow is king, of course. All right, so let's see. Lenya, okay. In those 14 days of your big heart mindset and strategy leap, you did all the same things as before in the sense of marketing. Yeah. I don't think I did Facebook Lives during that period. I did the same. I don't really have a newsletter. I have an email list and I just send them, I'm going to tell you a little cheat or a little way that I leverage. Everything that I post, well, not everything, but you guys know that I typically post once a day, like I do a written post once a day. And so what I do is I copy that post and I send that out to my list, right? So I'm just leveraging the same content. Facebook ads, but that's it. That's the key, Lenya. It was my energy that shifted, right? Why do you think my energy shifted? My energy shifted because of everything I just talked to you about. Because I was selling something that I was on fucking fire to sell, right? And I knew I was going to call in the people that I was on fire to serve, right? And I knew I was going to get compensated at a level that would make me feel excited, right? And then I had a little bit of support that said, hey, do this, do that. And actually, I had the result before we actually, I signed up, but before we actually started our coaching, I actually made over $100,000, okay? That's just being real. But a lot of that had to do with the energy, just like you said. It is, and that's the missing key. This is why I think that working harder often does a disservice to people because, you know, there's some people who just love the hustle, right? And if you just love the hustle, then keep doing that shit, right? Because there's some people who are turned on by that. If that's the thing that turns you on, if that's the thing that moves you, then do that. But if you know it's not the thing that turns you on, it's not the thing that moves the needle for you, right? You do want more ease and grace, and you are feeling frustrated because you're working hard and not seeing the results, then it's time to look at something different, right? And so if you are continuing to bust your ass and feel frustrated, what kind of energy are you putting out there? What do you think that will do? Either it will block clients altogether, or it will attract you clients who are needy, right? Or clients who feel like they're a drain on you, or clients who are desperate, right? You don't want to be putting that energy out. And if you do something different, like what I'm suggesting to you, instead of trying to implement more strategy, you actually just start doing the things that work. What do you think could happen? What do you think could be different, right, in your experience? So anyway, guys, we're going over. So let me just see if there's one or two more questions before I have to wrap up, because I try to keep these to about 20 minutes. Let me just see. Lenya says your energy has really changed. Yes. Or your energy has, I think so. I fall in love with your confidence. Of course. Listen, when you're selling stuff that you love to the people that you love, you can't help but be confident, right? No. Yeah, so if somebody's in a contract with me, they remained at their old pricing. These were new clients I signed. Clients, by the way, this is another key. I raised my fees and I signed clients cold, right? Clients who had never heard of me 24 to 48 hours prior to engaging with my webinar, right? Became clients in that same span of about 14 days. I think it was maybe 10 days, but whatever. All right, so I'm gonna wrap up, guys. So Lenya, I'm going to let you do your own math on that. For $100,000, you can do as many clients as you want. You can do 1 client, you can do 2 clients, you can do 3 clients, you can do 4 clients, you can do 10 clients, right? You get to decide what that looks like for you, okay? Grace says, I'm too lazy to hustle. Okay. All right, ladies. No, Lenya, the new clients came, or the new money came from new clients, okay? But here's another thing. When you are selling the right type of services, right? The stuff that lights you up to the right people, they get amazing results. What do you think gets to happen? You get more referrals and you get more renewals. Cool? All right, so if any of you guys have additional questions, please feel free to put them in the comments. If you want some one-on-one time with me to help me, or to allow me to help you figure out how you can make the money that you know you're capable of right now, then reach out to me for a breakthrough session at DesireeStafford.com /session. And until we do speak again, I hope you guys are up to big, bold things in your life and in your business. Take care.